I'm Chris Stutchko, co-host of the 9th Grade Experience podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shanna Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology and instructional coach for my district.
And I'm her producer and husband, Fuzz Martin, and you can tell Shanna's about to laugh because I was going to say that I can't wait to Diffit. Diffit real good. Yo, baby, pop. Diffit good.
So we only had one tool this week,
yes.
And we made a song. Well, we didn't make a song.
We stole a song.
We stole a song for it because, yep, that's what happened when we sat down.
Diffit
at the microphone.
Shape it up. Move forward.
Diffit real good.
Yeah.
So we have one tool.
It's called Diffit.
Welcome to episode 177. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So it's a good week here on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. We have one tool for you all because it's really cool.
Yes.
And there's a lot of cool things about it.
And it's quite a bit different than other tools we talked about.
And Clearly, we couldn't pick just one way to introduce it. So you're going to get all of the ways to introduce Diffit. Yeah. So this past weekend, I attended Ed Camp Elmbrook, which was super fun.
Ed Camp.
And there's lots of fun things coming up this spring. So we're going to talk about a tech tool now. It's called Diffit. For anyone who has not heard of Diffit, it's for differentiation, which is really cool. So Diffit is pretty snazzy. It's in beta mode still. So the best way to find it is if you just type in Diffit, Diffit. You can Google it. Or it's beta, beta.diffit.me. Diffit me is how you can search it in a URL right now.
Okay.
What a cool tool for teachers. So basically what Diffit does, its whole purpose is for differentiation in your classroom. And I've heard a couple of teachers talk about it. I've seen it a little bit in action. And then I really delved into it this week because I'm like, this is something I want to learn more about. Mm-hmm. And it's cool. Basically, the whole purpose is to create these just right resources for your students. When you get to the website and you open up the page, you can single sign on. So it says are you a teacher? Yes, you are a teacher. And you can sign in with Google, sign up with Google. There is a free version so that you automatically, when you sign up, you get premium for 60 days. So you get all of it for 60 days. And then there's a continued free version if you don't want to pay for it, which you don't get everything, but there's a lot of cool tools. And probably after you're playing around with it, you can decide if you just want the differentiation piece or if you want all the extras that come with it. You go to Diffit and just rate resources. And I love that it's labeled literally anything. Pull an article or a video with a URL, like a YouTube video or an article that you want to use in your classroom. Or you can put in your own text or an excerpt. And you can use PDFs, which is cool. So you type in a topic, literally anything. I'm going to type in, I was doing government stuff because that's what I needed this week for school. But I'm going to type in pine trees. Because our youngest keeps telling us it's spring. It's not. By the way, though, in Wisconsin, everybody, it's 63 degrees today and sunny and beautiful outside. It's probably going to snow later this week, but we're going to enjoy pine trees right now. I can choose your approximate reading level. So you can choose second grade all the way through 11th plus for reading levels, which is cool. And then language. So English, Spanish, and the list goes on and on and on and on, which is awesome. So you can pick your articles in the language you want them to, and then you click generate resources. So this is by me just throwing a topic at Diffit. If I wanted to, and I tried this out as well, using articles or information that I already teach in class, and you can upload information that you already have that you already use. So you don't have to like always create stuff. You can use the things that you already have, which to me is super helpful, that I can take the content I already use or articles I already use, and then it pulls it from there. So by typing in pine trees at the 2nd grade level, it then gives you a collection of images, and it sources everything. So it'll tell you like this picture was picked from Wikipedia. This one was pulled from like different places, Clemson University, with different types of pine needles. So they will tell you the sources, which I appreciate. And then as you scroll down, it gives you an adapted reading passage for a 2nd grade level. It's a couple of paragraphs, small paragraphs, gives you a summary and bulleted points, gives you key vocabulary words with definitions. And all of these things, when it's divided out, you can choose to edit or copy.
Okay.
So if there's something that I feel like is amiss in the reading passage or I wanted more, I can physically type it into there. I can also go back and change the level. So I'm like, 2nd grade's a little low for what I'm looking for. I want 4th grade level instead. I can make that change. Same with the summary. You can copy or edit them. So you can move once the stuff is done. Clearly it's AI generated. And you can use these tools though to support the learning in your classroom. So then you've got key vocabulary words with definitions. Then it gives you multiple choice questions. And also the magic to this is it gives you the answers too. Because a lot of times teacher stuff's generated and then you're like,
and I have to go find the answer.
I think this is the right answer. And then you may be very familiar with your content, but you didn't write the question.
Yeah.
So you're not, So it gives, you can add more questions to the multiple choice questions, or you can show answers, again, edit or copy. And you can thumbs up and thumbs down and everything too, which I like. Like, yeah, this is right on track, or nope, totally missed the point. Multiple choice questions like, why are pine trees important for animals? They provide shade. They give animals a place to play and climb. They have tasty fruits and nuts for animals to eat. Pine trees have seeds in their cones that animals can eat. So you kind of like can decide what questions you want to use. They also have short answer questions, and they have open-ended prompts, all based on the article that was written for you. Then they have a section below that you click student activities, which I'll get back to in a second. So you have all of these resources based on, like I typed in pine trees. Now, if I want something else, and I'm like, I actually want content, like I'm not just going to play around with this, I can pull the article that I already used I keep them in my Google Docs that I've already tweaked and made adjustments to. I can drop that content into where it says an article or video that I already have, or any text excerpt, and you can upload PDFs as well. Drop that in, and then click Generate Resources, and it will generate the resources for the content that I already teach.
Awesome.
It also then has a cool little folder that's called My Resources, and every lesson that you create here, it saves it all for you.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to redo this every time?
So I don't have to redo this every time.
Yeah.
So right now I'm going to go back into the one that I created earlier today about types of government. So give us my overview. This is content that I've already taught before. I've put my reading passage in. It's all there, like exactly how I had it. You can show the full text. Then it gave me a bulleted point summary of my text that I had previously written. It pulled key vocabulary words, which are pretty close. I would change a couple of them because it only gives me 5 and I have 8th graders, so I'd probably give them a few more vocab words. Multiple choice questions are set up, short answer questions, open-ended prompts. So it's all there based on content I specifically put in there. And they're pretty specific, which is nice. Like reflect on the different types of government discussed in the text. How would you see elements of these types of government in your own community or country? And then kids can make that comparison. We can have that discussion in class. Then I click on student activities. Now, these are then come out of this Diffit exports library, and you can choose if you want digital student resources or print, which is always huge. You could also grade level these. So even though your article may be at an 8th grade level, if you want your learning pieces to be at a 4th grade level, because maybe that's might be a higher level reading in the article, but you want a lower level for like classroom discussion pieces,
Sure.
You can make adjustments to that.
Okay.
And then you can do subject specific. So I can decide I want the social studies resources, or even though I have a social studies resource, I can pull the science resources, which is cool. So you can choose the formatting of your resources, and then printable or digital. And then there's all kinds of options. So we love a good CER. So they've got claim evidence reasoning, and you click on it. And what's cool is once you have it, you can kind of flip through claims evidence reasoning. It's not just one sheet, though. It gives here's an image. You can do a what do you notice? What do you wonder about this image? And it's an image that they pulled that goes along with the content that you have in your article. Key vocabulary, they have those options. You can take notes. They have an answer and explain section. They have a reflect and discuss section. And then you take that to other students. It's all pre-done. So it's not like a blank sheet necessarily. It is filled with content-specific questions that it produced for you after your article.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then it drops it all into Google Slides for you. So you can manipulate them however you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't want great, thanks for making 8 student activities for me. I need 2. You just open with Google Slides. It tells you, by the way, what Common Core standards you're hitting, with these discussions and with these student activities. And then it will give you what grade levels it's appropriate for. Opens into your Google account, creates the slide deck that then gives you all of the things that you want. And it usually just takes a second because there's several. It's not just one piece. It probably gives you 8 different options. It'll give you your article. It'll give you different graphic organizers. Mm-hmm. It'll give you multiple choice standard questions. And what's cool is it'll give you the questions in multiple choice. And then next to it has the prompt set up where it says, why do you think this? So then kids have to explain their thinking with their multiple choice questions.
Just guessing.
So they have to put their thought process behind it, explain some of the activities, and it goes through read and take notes. And so it's all these pieces set up for you.
And that's all in Google Slides. And
then it just makes the Google Slides for you, and you have them, and they're saved. And again, you can pick and choose what you want. It also gives you the option, and this is a premium feature that you get for the first 60 days, but you can drop it directly into Google Classroom too.
Oh, cool.
So there's the direct drop in there, which is nice, but you can also, it's in slides. So
you can just
take the slide and copy it into your Google Classroom.
Yeah.
You can do it either way. So there's just so many different ways. And the whole goal of this website that I've taken away from it is that it's to differentiate for your students in your classroom. So yeah, we're all going to read about types of government, but I can give the article to groups within their reading levels, or we can have discussion prompts that are appropriate. And then those kids, if I need, maybe my kids might need to be reading at grade level, but maybe we need to translate it into Spanish, we can. Or if I need to be reading in English, but the questions can be in Spanish. So that way we're understanding what you can meet the needs of your students wherever they are at and whatever needs they have. And then there's visuals that go with it. And then these questions that are created. So there's just so many choices that you can put in there, which is super helpful. And the other piece is too, which I appreciate, it's depending on the content you pick for the question setup, the Google Slides is not just the same thing every time. So if I put in ELA as my student activities, it's going to give me Cornell notes even. It gives you graphic organizers. It gives you different things. So depending on what you're choosing to talk about, it gives you the setup for those, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And that all takes how long to generate all of that?
I had everything cranked out in probably 3 minutes that I needed. I'm cool. Because I already had the article, and it was an article that I already done.
Yeah.
And I just needed some activities to go with it to get the kids thinking, to reflect on stuff. It created it all for me, and I'm ready to go for next week.
So you have your substitute coming in.
Yeah.
And this is all just instead of spending a couple hours getting this prepped for your sub.
And making it cute. It's not overly cute, but it's
not
well.
Cute. Yeah, it's bones, and you can.
But
you
it's
could probably
not
use
boring either. It's outlined, and it's very this box. We put in this information. This box, so it's clear. It's very clear for what students need to do, and the directions are all there written for you, and everything is there, which is super awesome.
And since it's in slides, it's real easy to copy over to your template that you're using from one of the other template programs or something like that.
Correct. Yeah. So you can drag and drop it in or adjust things as you want to.
Yep. Add a theme.
Yeah. And I also appreciate too, they have where you can add YouTube videos in there. So I know a lot of teachers are different sites have changed that we've talked about in the past about we want to pull YouTube videos. We want to be able to add different things. And so there are some limits to the YouTube videos, but you can drop a YouTube video in and then it will give you specific questions that go with it or different information that goes with it, which is really cool too. And again, you can upload your own works along with literally anything to generate those resources. And it just is there as a really cool resource for teachers and to support them, which I thought was really awesome.
Kudos to Adam Black and Vlad Gutkovich, who were the co-founders of Diffit. It's really fun to say. Yeah, it's a really awesome tool, and obviously it saves you guys time, and there will be many good things to come for this app.
Absolutely. And
absolutely.
And I like that you can adjust it too. Like, here's all our stuff that we're helping you with. And then also, like, you can go ahead and edit and you can make your own changes because clearly the goal is to meet your students' needs. So awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. If you get a chance, play around with Diffit this week. Throw in literally anything and then teach your kids.
Instructions.
It says. And then teach your kids about something cool. And then have a class discussion on it. And they can fill in their little sheets and do things digitally and then do them in writing. And it's just very cool. So check it out. I'm really excited about this one. It seems like I love a time saver. It's very helpful.
Yeah, agreed.
So there we go.
Very good.
Subplan's done.
Diffit for teachers.
There you go. So thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter,
X,
at SmartinWI, or on Threads, or on Facebook. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit SmartinWI.com. If you'd like to support the show, please consider buying me a coffee or two. Visit buymeacoffee.com/SmartinWI or visit SmartinWI.com and click on that cute little purple coffee cup. Your donations help keep the show going. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the SmartinWI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we hope they do. And we will talk to you next time on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. Diffit. Diffit good.
What's the real song, though?
Whip it.
It's Whip It. Yeah, it's Whip It real good.
No, it's Push It real good.
Push it. Push it real good.
Yeah. Whip it into shape.
Yeah.
Shape, different song.
Yep. Diffit real good.
Yo, baby pops.